Sarah Marrinan from Keller Williams here, and Tim Erickson from Leader One Financial stopped by. We'd both recently seen a video with Dr. Ken Johnson that the Realtor Association had invited him to speak on renting a home versus owning a home and how it correlates with wealth. Tell me your takeaways, Tim.
Yeah, it was good. He did a nice job. He's a professor down at one of the universities in Florida. Yep. Very credible. Obviously did a lot of homework. Some of it was a little bit long and lengthy and boring, but
right. So we'll sum it up.
Yes, but he does a nice job. Is the point?
Yeah.
And he really gets down to the point where a lot of us will sum up what he's saying is that owning a home is a great way to build wealth.
Right.
And he really breaks down
why and how.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And in short, it is that we do need accountability if we're going to be saving money to create wealth. And if we have our home that's helping to build that wealth, it's a lot easier to do it. So we all need accountability. We all need to automatically save, and a home is a way to do that. So he goes through a lot of studies with that,
right.
And he does look at some other places around the U.S. city-wise that are great investments and some that he thinks are not because with some other right. things that he has.
But we are.
Yes.
We're a good investment.
Yes, Minneapolis, St. Paul is great.
Yep. So one of the other kind of points that really stood out to me was that the home is the savings account, which is what makes it wealth building and a good investment. And when people are refinancing their equity out all the time or constantly taking lines of credit, that's where it's not a good investment anymore. And so if you're looking at it just to be a cash cow, unless you're using it to reinvest in higher return stuff, that's not, then it's not.
Yep.
And then you should just rent. Like if you move a lot, those things, that makes it not a good idea. So there is a time where renting is better. And that is if you're going to just look at a house as a cash cow or if you're going to be moving around a lot.
Absolutely. And the questions that realtors and mortgage people and CPAs and planners, which we highly suggest you have as well, is the question of how long are you planning on keeping a home?
Right.
That's a big deal, and that's where it comes down to, okay, does it make sense to pay closing costs? Do you want to do a no closing cost loan, take a higher rate? Some of that stuff comes into play, and that's why it's important to know what you're going to do there. So yeah, great point
right.
from that standpoint. So
well, and so then to that point, some of that savings can be done in other ways too. If you're just thinking about buying a home and you want to have the leverage and the buying power of saving, there's apps you can use that every time you make a purchase it rounds up. There are credit cards and savings accounts that will automatically put money in there for you. A lot of employers will split your paycheck into a savings account and a checking account. Mm-hmm. And if you can just get a few of those things set up, you'd be surprised how quickly you can save up for a down payment, closing costs, a rainy day fund, because as soon as that money is kind of out of sight, it's out of mind from your checking account. And that is definitely the best way, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And there's a great book on that too about paying yourself first. So if anybody wants that, contact Sarah or I. We can get you a copy of it. It's a nice, cool little book. And it truly is, saving is hard unless you make it easy. And automatic savings is easy. If it goes in there first, you're paying yourself first, and then you go and pay all your other bills. Right. All of a sudden, you're creating a nest egg. And for our family, I know when we were starting out, it was easier to start an online savings account. That was easier to put in, but harder to take out. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, well, that was nice to have, and now you have more of a down payment.
Right. If anything happens, whether you're a homeowner and it's a problem with your car or your anything, so that you don't get behind, because that's another study I was watching about too many people are living on the edge, and that is not good for the economy.
Absolutely. Emergency planning is big.
Yeah.
Some people will say 3 months of
and
all
it's
of your
renters
payments.
too,
And that's
living on
anyone.
the edge, because they're easily evicted here.
Easily evicted, and for renting, you got to pay a full month's rent plus your rent for deposit plus a full month's rent that you have to pay at close. So that's a pretty big chunk of change you have to bring, and a lot of times you're not getting your deposit back from your old person right away either. So that can be a lot of money. So saving up 3, 6 months, 12 months, some people will say, depending on your job, if it's commission or anything like that. We highly suggest meeting with financial planners, CPAs, stuff like that, and if anybody needs any references on those.
And do somebody who's specialized. Like if you're a commission employee, work with an accountant that specializes in commission employees, because it is very different than somebody who is an accountant for W-2 jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for planners too. You know, some just specialize in different things.
Retirement or,
Yep. And some are, you know, in new people who's getting into newer jobs, stuff like that. So yeah, there's absolutely a time and place for everybody in their niche, and we're more than happy to introduce people to those.
And the biggest thing, you know, here is this is about rent versus buy, and if you are doing these things, you are safe on either side of that coin. I know that doesn't sound good coming from a mortgage person and a real estate agent, that, hey, maybe renting is for you. But that's not, our goal is to help you make a good plan. It's not to push you into something, you know, just because studies say you'll be more wealthy if you buy.
Yep.
Well, only in certain cases. You really have to understand when that happens. So.
Yep, absolutely correct. It's all about suitability,
Right,
we talk
lifestyle.
about, and for people. And
Yeah.
so that's how we have to talk to people and make sure we get their goals and how long they're going to be in houses, stuff like that in mind before we can make recommendations. It's not just, oh, we need a house, well, what can we get it to you? You know, that's
Right.
just not what we do. So
Right.
great point with that. Thanks, Sarah.
Well, thanks for coming out, Tim. And thank you for watching. Our numbers are down below if you want to talk to us about any more of this, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.